Good evening, I'm Diana Haokip and you're watching Bombay TV English News. First, the headlines. Controversy still prevail over Chachanpur College principal's post. Kokami goes full blast against half-baked report of police. KSO Chachanpur, ZSF and HSA has demanded immediate withdrawal of MU's recent admission notices. KSO Thangting block organized felicitation cum career guidance. Mongsang community visits Makhand relief camp, extends help. Now news in details. The predicament at Chachanpur Government College centers on a dispute over administrative and financial powers between interim looked after principal Ginzamang T. Zomi, appointed by the state government in May 2026, and vice principal Caroline Zo Thangmoy. The predicament at Chachanpur Government College centers on a dispute over administrative and financial powers between interim look-after principal Ginzamang T. Zomi, appointed by the state government in May 2026, and vice principal Caroline Zo Thangmoy. The appointment of Associate Professor Ginzamang T. Zomi as interim principal of Chachanpur College on May 15, 2026 led to dispute with vice principal Caroline Zo Thangmoy over institutional authority, causing campus unrest and promoting calls for government intervention. Although the Directorate of University and Higher Education later issued directions to maintain stability, the government of Manipur has not cancelled Ginzamang T. Zomi's appointment. Caroline Zo Thangmoy has not produced any formal government appointment order, appointing her as principal. A High Court order or departmental compliance letter does not by itself constitute a government appointment, which must be made through a formal appointment order by the competent authority. If the government intended to replace Shri Ginzamang T. Zomi, the first legal step would have been cancellation, withdrawal, or suspension of his appointment order. No such order has been produced. Administrative certainty requires the one valid appointment must cease before another valid appointment takes effect, unless otherwise specifically provided by law. The Coordinating Committee on Manipur Integrity, COCOMI, has stated that the police statement claiming the arrest of two individuals with Meitei names without disclosing their full identities in connection with the abduction of killing of 6 Naga civilians in an attempt to undermine the people's movement, demanding justice for the victims. At a press conference in Lamphel, COCOMI convener Y.K. Dhiren alleged that the government's actions are intended to divert public attention and weaken the demand for justice in the killing of 6 Naga civilians. He said the two arrested suspects, Pradeep and Ayingbi, are Kuki residents of Leilon Vaipe village, but questioned why other alleged perpetrators, identified by the Konsakul residents and abducted Naga women, including the Leilon Vaipe village chief and a police personnel, have not been arrested. Dhiren noted that the Kuki Zo Council had acknowledged that the Naga victims were killed by Kuki Zo group, yet no action has been taken against the village chief, from whose village 18 Naga civilians were abducted on May 13th. While 12 victims were later released, the bodies of the remaining 6 were recovered on June 10th in mutilated condition. He accused the government of trying to create enmity among indigenous communities and criticized the police for withholding the full identities of the arrested individuals, calling the overall response inadequate. Appealing to the people to understand the alleged ploy of the government, Dhiren said that they would never stop seeking justice for the Meitei and Naga victims killed by Kuki armed groups. He also stated that Chief Minister's recent statement describing the suspension of Operation SOO agreement as a matter of concerning the central government was irresponsible. The 3 apex student bodies of Chachanpur District, Kuki Student Organization KSO Chachanpur, Zomi Student Federation, ZSF GHQ, and Mar Students Association HSA have demanded the immediate withdrawal of 2 recent admission notices issued by Manipur University, stating that the students from their communities have continued to be excluded from accessing higher education since the outbreak of ethnic violence in May 2023. In a joint statement, the student organizations expressed disappointment over the university's admission to 2-year postgraduate programs, notification dated June 23, 2026, and the pre-PhD admission notice 2026 issued on 1st of July 2026. The student body said that Kuki Zo students have been unable to access Manipur University's Kanchipur campus since May 3, 2023, affecting nearly 400 postgraduate students and 80 PhD scholars who they claim have been left without alternative academic arrangements. They argued that despite successive admission cycles, the concerns of students from their communities have been remained unresolved. They argued that despite successive admission cycles, the concern of students from their communities have remained unresolved, alleging that university has continued its academic activities without ensuring equal access. The organization further contended that university has failed to uphold the UGC's principles of accessibility and equity, as the Kanchipur campus remains inaccessible to students from the affected communities. They demanded the immediate withdrawal of recent postgraduate and pre-PhD admission notifications, the establishment of a study or extension center in Churachandpur for postgraduate and doctoral programs, exemption from CUET PG 2026 for eligible students from the affected districts, and the issuance of fresh admission notices with at least 1 month's application period. They warned that the failure to address their demands within a week would lead to intensified democratic protest. KSO Thangting blog organized felicitation cum career guidance today at Living Water High School in Enzalin Pai. The event began from 11:40 a.m. and was graced by Shri Ngaminthang Haokip, a social worker, as chief guest, and Srimati Vene Lamboy Si Haokip, SO Kangwai SDO as functional president, Shri Haupu Gangte, assistant professor as guest of honor, and Shri Henlal Siam Gangte, chief of Bunglon as chief host, beside Reverend Ngamboy Haokip, Superintendent MHD AGEI, graced the event as the minister. As part of the program, 140 students from classes 10 and 12 were felicitated for their academic achievements. The minister offered a special blessing prayer for their continued success and presented each student with a certificate of felicitation in recognition of their accomplishments. Later in the evening, a career guidance session was conducted by Shri Seikho Haokip, proprietor of Ultimate Coaching Institute, to help students explore future academic and career opportunities. With the conclusion of the event, Mr. Mangcha Haokip, Secretary KSO Thangtin Block, delivered vote of thanks, followed by closing prayer from Henlal Kipgen from Enzalin Mun, and hence the event concluded. Leaders of the Mongsang Naga community, under the aegis of Sirti Uparu, Mongsang Tribe Union, on Wednesday visited the Makhan relief camp, where the families of 6 Naga civilians who were allegedly killed by Kuki militants after being abducted at Leilon Vaipe village on May 13, 2026, are sheltered. This solidarity visiting program of Mongsang Naga leaders to Makhan Naga village included a prayer program together with the bereaved families and local community leaders at Makhan village. And that wraps up our top stories for this evening. Thank you for watching Bombil TV English News and have a great night.